Worst speech ever. Wow. Last night, this was depressing. Joe Biden had a mission to make things seem as bad as possible, blame Trump, and so when he fixes everything, he'll get all the credit. The first words out of his mouth should have been, "Thank you, President Trump." Didn't happen. But this was spectacularly bad. I'm talking Jimmy Carter level of badness, the famous wimp in the yellow sweater. One of his key advisors had that for him as a nickname, by the way. Yeah, let's get to last night. I don't like giving Joe Biden extra airtime, but it's so bad that there are some lessons here for us.
I talk about the longest walk any parent can make is up a short flight of stairs to his child's bedroom to say, "I'm sorry, I lost my job. I can't be here anymore." Like my dad told me when he lost his job in Scranton.
That's just classic Joe Biden legendary phoniness. When you lose your job, is the first thing you do go home to tell your boy? And what's up with Scranton? Scranton. He lived in Garden City, my hometown, which quite frankly is a pretty affluent place. What happened next last night?
It's the details of life that matter the most. And we miss those details. The big details and the small moments. Weddings, birthdays, graduations. All the things that needed to happen, but didn't. The first date, the family reunions, the Sunday night rituals. It's all has exacted a terrible cost on the psyche of so many of us.
Yeah, you couldn't do any of that stuff, right? Some of us found a way, including Joe Biden. Take a look at this picture of him with his family, a great big reunion in November. Grandkids, kids, no masks. Total phony. Next.
Too often, we've turned against one another. A mask, the easiest thing to do to save lives. Sometimes it divides us.
You know, the mask issue, talk to Fauci, Dr. Fauci. If there's inconsistency about masks, it's his fault. Your favorite doctor. And right after the speech, by the way, Joe Biden walked up to two Marines and he wasn't wearing a mask. All right, what happened next?
Last summer, I was in Philadelphia and I met a small business owner, a woman. I asked her, I said, "What do you need most?" Never forget what she said to me. She said, looking me in the eye, she said, "I just want the truth. The truth. Just tell me the truth."
Then Joe Biden's not your man. Let's face it, he is a world-famous and world-class liar. I even doubt if that cheesy story is true at all. Next.
We continue to work on making at-home testing available. And we've been focused on serving people in the hardest-hit communities of this pandemic: Black, Latino, Native American, and rural communities.
Black, Latino, Native American, and rural communities. What about American communities? That's all communities. It doesn't matter. I didn't like that part. I didn't. That's the way he suddenly talks. The new woke Joe Biden. What about all Americans? No matter what our color? Next.
In the coming weeks, we will issue further guidance on what you can and cannot do once fully vaccinated.
Can and cannot do once fully vaccinated. We'll figure that one out for ourselves. Next.
Beating this virus and getting back to normal depends on national unity. And national unity isn't just how politics and politicians vote in Washington, or what the loudest voices say on cable or online. Unity is what we do together as fellow Americans. Because if we don't stay vigilant and the conditions change, then we may have to reinstate restrictions to get back on track. And please, we don't want to do that again.
All right, look, I'm wearing my mask and I'm washing my hands. Now thank President Trump if you want to unify us, huh? All right, here are the big promises.
Tonight, I'm announcing that I will direct all states, tribes, and territories to make all adults, people 18 and over, eligible to be vaccinated no later than May 1. Let me say that again. All adult Americans will be eligible to get a vaccine no later than May 1. That's much earlier than expected. Let me be clear. That doesn't mean everyone's going to have that shot immediately, but it means you'll be able to get in line beginning May 1.
What a stupid, phony, typical politician, non-promise promise. You'll be eligible. He promises we'll be eligible by May 1st. Thanks a lot. What's next, finally?
If we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout or a barbecue and celebrate Independence Day.
Gotta be honest, I did that last Independence Day. But Joe's gonna let us do it this time, just like he did last November. That picture I showed you a little while ago, all huddled there, grandkids in from all over the country, great big family reunion, maskless. All right, finally, Joe wrapped things up and walked off, I thought, in the most bizarre, lonely manner. Take a look at this. Something kind of weird about this hallway, or the way it's set up. It like goes on forever. See him walking, take it full again. It's like a house of mirrors. There's just something odd about it. Where are those Marines? And usually the president makes a left. That's what Trump did, at least. Donald Trump, President Trump. Anyway, very peculiar indeed. Something tells me he's really not in charge. Okay, back here in New York, Governor Cuomo just barely hanging on. A seventh accuser has now come forward saying that he harassed and did all kinds of inappropriate things. He spoke today. He is not going to resign. And get this, a guy who's been in politics for 40 years is trying to portray himself as some sort of political outsider.
Let the review proceed. I'm not going to resign. I was not elected by the politicians. I was elected by the people. Part of this is that I am not part of the political club. And you know what? I'm proud of it.
Not part of the political club. He is the political club. 40 years in politics, he's not part of the political club. Although I guess today he's technically out of the political club. Senators Schumer and Gillibrand, both Democrats, called on him to resign just a short while ago. And now we have 7 accusers, 7 total. And one of them has outlined her allegations in an essay in New York Magazine. This is Jessica Bakeman. Let's go ahead and take it. What is she saying here? Then he turned to me with a mischievous smile on his face in front of all my colleagues and said, "I'm sorry, am I making you uncomfortable? I thought we were going steady." A lot of folks here in New York, though, think the mishandling of the nursing home situation far more serious than these allegations. Some fatal decisions could have led to the deaths of thousands of elderly COVID patients. We have to go to Portland, Oregon right now. You probably haven't heard much about this, but that city is on fire. That is a federal facility, a downtown federal facility that Antifa tried to light on fire. I mean, look at this chaos. Take it full if you would. There's bad stuff going on. They tried to destroy a federal building. Now, that's essentially attempted murder. Setting something on fire like that? You don't hear about this, though, do you, from the mainstream media? No, they're still focused on January 6th. Well, what date is today? March 11th? March 12th? This is a pretty big day, too. But, nope, since it's Antifa and since they're coming from the left, it's all no big deal. Not getting much attention at all. Want to go to Minneapolis now, Minneapolis, Minnesota. George Floyd, the trial, the officers involved, one of them is about to get underway or has gotten underway. His family received a massive settlement from the city of Minneapolis, $27 million. They had a wrongful death claim, and They will be receiving $27 million. Did you know that there was a Chaz zone in Minneapolis, an area like a no-go zone that radicals have claimed for their own? Yes, a Chaz in Minneapolis. And take a look at this when a reporter who really had no agenda was just trying to ascertain what was happening. Look at how he was greeted.
Take a look. These barricades have been set up by protesters and supporters of the movement. They don't allow anyone in, not even the police. It's called an autonomous zone. And
You're going to be in a bad situation here in a second.
oh, I thought if we were on this side of the barricade.
You're going to be in a bad situation in a second.
What do you mean by
Because you've
bad
been called out
situation?
for what you are and you need to get out of here.
Please go.
Even on
We
this
know
side of the
what, we know
barricade.
what you are. You need to get in your car and go.
A bad situation. Look at him threatening that guy like that. Oh, I kind of want to go up there and do my own profile and report on that Chaz. The reporter wisely went away, but who the hell are these people to control a part of a public city? And public safety is going way, way, way down. A guy was shot right there in the Chaz. Actually, this is the spot where George Floyd was killed May of last year. Somebody was shot. There's essentially anarchy in Minneapolis, it looks like, at this point. And it's very, very sad. All right, this is kind of silly, but seems to be happening a lot. Athletes complaining about their treatment, perceived disrespect, perhaps? I don't know. Patrick Ewing, have you ever heard of him? World famous basketball player, Georgetown, the Knicks, now a coach. Ewing went to Madison Square Garden, where he is revered to this day. That's his jersey hanging there from the rafters. But he played 30 years ago, so he doesn't look the same. He said he was not treated well when he returned.
But I do want to say one thing, though. I thought this was my building, and I feel terrible that I'm getting stopped, accosted, asking for passes. Everybody in this building should know who the hell I am. And I'm getting stopped. I can't move around this building. Like I was like, what the hell? Is this Madison Square Garden? I'm going to have to call Mr. Dolan and say, geez, is my number in the rafters or what?
Well, Mr. Dolan owns the stadium. Patrick Ewing does not look the way he does in playing days. You can see for yourself, right? He put on the pounds. Hey, we all have. So don't take it so personal.